Been playing some Oriental music lately. And sorry, Mike. You guys are a lot more sedate than they were last night. Last night, Bill did a great set last night, like he did tonight. And they were really loving it, but they're just rowdy as hell. There's a couple sitting right down here at the table that were high enough to hunt ducks for the rake, and they were raising some hell. I came out here to play, and it's like I talk with my audiences for a while, especially in places like this. Pardon me while I plug in. Was it good for you? But I talked to the audience for a while, and they began to talk back. Everybody. And they were all talking about what I was doing pretty much, but they were all talking, and it was incredible. It's like being at an auction full of auctioneers, you know, where everybody's selling to everybody else. Joy, joy, joy in my heart. Joy. Is there any elixir? I think I have a... what's the heaviest prescription? Sing a song. I just been up here 10 minutes. The red stuff again. Were you here last night? Oh, you were talking to me too, from the same place. Sitting there in the same place. The phantom talker back there, you know. They have a bunch of new beers here at the Anderson Fair. And one is Cerveza Panama, which I highly recommend. You can taste the grain in it. Just like on a golf course, it's got a certain grain to it. Did Norman make his putt on the 18th hole today? Anybody know? He did? It means he's, oh, good. Kicking arse. No, I haven't, Doctor. Oh, shit. Thank you. Something funny in that beer. I guess that's the grain, a big chunk of rice or something. I don't know the amount. How about a hand for the shirt before we go any farther? Thank you. My manager gave me this shirt for my birthday, and I only wear it on special occasions. And when I come to Anderson Fair, Leatherwood said I've been playing here a couple of years. I've been playing here since 1931, non-stop. Well, that was really, well, you handled yourself well, guy. That's why Dean Martin plays Vegas, and I play Anderson. I don't really smoke. I'm a passive smoker. I hold them in my mouth and breathe while they burn. It's not really the same as smoking. I talk to my audience whenever I play a place like this to find out where the audience is going. That way I know where I should go, and so far I've got no hint from you people. Jesus. The hints are coming in, starting out with the absurd. I like that in my audience, the absurd. Let's see if the old guitar is intended. I used to bring my old Martin guitar down here, 51 Martin D28 named Leonard. He usually accompanied me down here. But I was in Dallas on Wednesday and Little Rock on Thursday, and I had my Takamine on the road. This is a Takamine guitar. They went to the Martin factory and got a guided tour and then made these. And the Martin is I can't replace that guitar, but I can replace this guitar almost anywhere. I can't find one with a hole like I have here. I kicked a hole in this guitar one time. I was hunting ducks with a rake myself one night, and was pissed off because the rake wouldn't work, you know. So I kicked my guitar down a hall in the Fort Worth Hotel. I don't take the Martin to Fort Worth. Where to start with you nice folks this evening? Now I've been resigned to biding my time, dying a bit each day. I've changed my tune, can't leave too soon. Packing my car with my flat top guitar, making my getaway. I do music and rhyme, I do mimic and mime. We can pick if you'd care to play. I sing and I dance, don't miss your chance to tell me I'm great before it's too late. And I done made my getaway. Get away from the humdrum, some call living today. I ain't living that way. Make no excuses for the way that I feel. I'm just a running, hunting something that's real, and I'm taking my chances with new circumstances. Starting to shout, ole. Well, hush my mouth, I've headed south. Grab the wife and the kid, dig up the money I hid, making my getaway. Play it slick, all right. Get away from the humdrum, some call living today. I ain't living that way. I make no excuses for the way that I feel. I'm just a running, hunting something that's real, and I'm taking my chances with new circumstances. Starting to shout, ole. Well, hush my mouth, I've headed south. Grab the wife and the kid, dig up the money I hid, making my getaway. Well, I'm packing my car with my flat-top guitar, making my getaway. You can tell me I'm great before it's too late, and I done made my getaway. Getaway. Thank you. Thank you very much. I played the kind of music for a long time, for years and years, called freeform country folk rock, science fiction, gospel, gum, bluegrass, opera music. And I was over at Jerry Jeff Walker's house, and I was playing some of this kind of stuff for him. I call it finger music. And I started doing this, and it pissed Jerry off because he can't do this. His fingers won't go like that, you know, because I can't write Bojangles either, so it works out we're just dead even. But he called me, he said, hey, man, that's cow jazz. Playing cow jazz music. So now I do freeform country, folk rock, science fiction, gospel, gum, bluegrass, opera, cow jazz music. No, I got this one from him. What? This is my mouth and my nose and my cigarette. What the hell, lady? I don't come to where you're working and tell you what to do on a coffee break, do I? Okay, I don't want to make you puke. Jesus, what a piggy audience. No shit. I drive a lot. I've been driving a lot for years and years and years, and driving around Texas in the Southwest, I see lots of southbound traffic bearing strange-looking license plates. Things like land of 1,000 lakes, land of 10,000 lakes, land of 100,000 fucking lakes, land of frozen butts. Frostbite is my home. The Keystone State, the Pissant State, all those states, they're getting in their cars and they're driving down here to Houston to get the jobs that don't exist. And the folks who haven't got jobs here, I found them driving north to Michigan to get the jobs that aren't there either. So there's this only folks making money, the folks selling gasoline, and they ain't making no money at all. But that's the American way. Well, here's one for Mother. I wrote this song. I wrote this song about this traffic, and for our brethren and sister of the northern persuasion who have chosen to come to Texas and pay us a visit. little song called Come On Down to Texas for a While. Science fiction couches. I love this lick a lot. One more time, okay? Every May we kill a rattlesnake or two. Coping with the scorpions is good for you. You'll become accustomed to the roaches too. So won't you come on down to Texas for a while? Now living down in Houston sure can be a thrill. Why, Mickey Gilly kills me. If you don't, the highways will. There's people leaning, crying out their windowsills, hollering, come on down to Texas for a while. If you like the hurricanes, you move down to the coast. Folks up around Austin like tornadoes and floods the most. You're from where? Michigan. Detroit will hush my mouth. You've arrived in time for the 7 years drought. You move down to Laredo, you can be part of the mob. The odds are 25 to 1 that you can't find a job. Some folks eating sweet corn cause they're tossing you the cobs. Oh, but come on down to Texas for a while. At the Oklahoma border, you will run into a wall made of jalapeno peppers. You don't have to eat them all, but you must eat a pint or two. It really ain't that hard for one like you who wants to earn their salsa card. You don't see many U-Hauls heading north on 45. Wonder how these immigrants are planning to survive. Why, it should be a sin to teach a Yankee how to drive. Oh, but come on down to Texas. Come on down to Texas. Come on down to Texas. We take you now through the magic of music in Anderson Fair to the Texas-Oklahoma border one lovely summer afternoon when the ranger says, howdy, folks, where y'all from? Oh, Minnesota. How nice. What part? All of you. How very clever. Here's your jalapenos, or jalapenos, depending on what part of Texas you're from. Oh, they're peppers. Oh, take a big old bite, sir. Oh, my God, don't rub your eyes. Don't touch that small dog. Get a clean wet rag, wipe that off as soon as you can. We hope you enjoy your visit to Texas. Drive safe going home. Leave it like you'd like to be found. Work if you get right. And remember, you can come on down to Texas for a while. Thank you. I think I'm finding the level of the room. It's always good when you're playing music. That's the truth, too. I started talking politics the second set last night, and I must have got drunk or something. Well, politics pissed me off. It's not politicians, they're just people, but politics piss me off. If there's something I sing that you want me to sing for tonight, let me know. Just jot it down in the back of a 10 or a 20 and toss it here at the stage. I'll jump on it like a duck in a June bug. I'm writing a book about things like duck and a June bug. That's a momonym. There are figures of speech, synonyms, antonyms, homonyms, and this is a momonym. And it comes from the old thing, getting any eggs was one of the very first momonyms. And, but the very first was, how's your momonym? That was the very first. And that's where momonyms came from, writing a book called Momonyms I Have Known. If you have any momonyms, just say them. There's compound momonyms, like, there's compound momonyms. Like, jeet yet? No, mungry, gweet. That's compound, or sometimes it's gweet, sweet, with an S in front. It's hard as sweet, you know. It's jeet yet? No, gweet, mungry. Hey, there's a momonym speaker back here. I love momonyms. My speech is full of momonyms. Now, there's psychedelic momonyms, like high enough to hunt ducks with a rake is a psychedelic momonym. called an Aunt Jemima Nim. I stayed in a hotel one time just outside of Nashville, Tennessee, that was an amazing hotel. It was a place called the Loveless Motor Hotel. And it's out on Route 100. I think it's out north of town. I'm not sure. Directions are weird in Nashville because all recording studios look the same direction to me. Recording studios are a lot like bowling alleys. It's always the same time of day there. And I think it's about 4:30 in the afternoon. I'm not sure. But I was up there making a demo record with a pal of mine, and he put us up in Palatial Splendor there at the Loveless Motor Hotel out on Route 100. And he said the red-eye gravy at the Loveless restaurant was delicious. That's why we stayed there, and it was great red-eye gravy. But the rooms were real cheap. And I had to throw a wino out of mine before I moved in, so I felt kind of insecure to begin with. But it was the first hotel I ever saw that was fully run by cockroaches. They'd park your car, take your bags, check you in, take you to the room, First morning I was there, I woke up and I'd gone out to the restaurant to get some breakfast and some red-eye gravy. Oh, it's good. They hired humans to run the restaurant. I admire. They're smart roaches. And well, roaches can't make gravy worth shit. It takes a bunch of them to hold a spoon, and they got to run around the edge of a hot skillet. You ever tried that shit? But I come back to my room, and there's 144 gross roaches, which is a weird number for roaches, I guess. And they're making my double bed there in the room. I said, I feel it takes 144 roaches to make the double bed. You just count the roaches, count the legs, and divide by 6 to find how many roaches there are. It takes 16 of the big roaches, the Florida roaches, that come in. They work there just to carry ice. And carry a bucket to your eyes, And I asked the wino in the room next to me. They gave the wino, they kicked out the one next to me. I was in 8, he was in 12. The rest of them were kind of burned out. And but it wasn't smoldering anymore when we got there, so I felt real good. But I asked this fellow, he'd been living there for, 8, 9 years. And I said, how come the roaches, when they walk out of the bedroom, they turn in and look at me funny? He says, you mean you're not tipping them? I said, what, I give him $50? What they gonna do with it? He said, you dummy. He always wears this big overcoat. It's like old Burberry, I think. Pulls out this handful of Oreo cookie crumbs, Just watch this. He said, you want to really freak him out? It looks like an old Tarzan movie. Toss him a big old full Oreo. Bounce off across. Well, the record didn't get bought, and it came time to shove off and get the hell out of town. And the fellow I was up there with Alex Harvey was his name, and we had a big party that night after the last recording session just because we were done. And it turned out we were not only done, we were also through. And had a big picket session, and Guy Clark came by and Lee Clayton and a bunch of songwriters and singers, and we played most of the night. Came time to go home the next morning, and I said, well, where's the plane ticket, Alex? I got to go back to Austin. He says, man, I haven't got any money. You got to fly yourself home. Marm's got real tired about Texarkana, and I stopped, got a cold beer, got back to Austin, wrote this song with some bitterness in my heart. That's Arkansas, Louisiana, Tennessee heart, H-O-R-T, heart. It's about them late night neon shadows. You see on your face, you see on my face. Well, I've seen a bunch of hard shell cases lately in the places I have been. Perhaps a picker pulled one out and he played a tune and he passed it round again. The voices there beside you dare not guide you. You know they understand. You just can't fool a fooler. Truth is the ruler for the measure of a man. And in these late night neon shadows, they call me from my home. These late night neon shadows, well, they won't leave Stephen alone. Lee Clayton writes songs and smiles so wily, hard to see the corners rise and fall. Guy Clark, he's great and gangly. It's a wonder he can play guitar at all. And the ladies doze and the lamplight dies. Liquor flows and the good time flies around. And the pearls that fall from this drunkard's eyes could light the skies of every little country town. And in these late night neon shadows, they call me from my home. These late night neon shadows, well, they won't leave me alone. You try to put Nashville there in a nutshell. It's a hard sell town, the dollar is the king. When you're broke and drunk and standing in the rain, nobody really cares how well you pick and sing. Well, it's who you know and what you say, for the record man getting in the way of your song. Well, the moon is high and so am I. The stars are out, I pray they guide me home. Away from these late night neon shadows, they call me from my home. These late night neon shadows, well, they won't leave old Stephen alone. Oh no, they won't leave me alone, all these shadows. Thank you. Keep them cards and letters, friends. Keep them cards and letters. What do you mean by that? One place I love to go is Arkansas. I was in Little Rock on Thursday night, a place called SOB's, Shrimp, Oysters, and Beer. They have a strange sense of humor up there, you know. They also have state highways that are still red dirt roads, which I find quite refreshing. But I played there first in 1973 in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, up in the northwest corner. An old spa, well, back when folks would dress for dinner every night, you know, and drink mineral water and bootleg gin. I like that idea, you know. And I was playing a place called The Quiet Night in the basement of a hotel called the New Orleans Hotel. And neat place, neat town, great mountains, old sharp mountains. And as opposed to great big fucking mountains, you know. And met a gal there. I'm a double Gemini man, horoscopically speaking. And and I met this lady who is a double Gemini lady, horoscopically speaking. And we fell madly in bed together. But we found it very hard to be alone because there was like always 16 or 17 of us there when there were just the two of us. It was like, I'm not schizophrenic and neither am I. Well, we decided not to pursue it any further than we'd already pursued it. And I had to head on down. I was coming to Houston, as a matter of fact, to play over at the old Liberty Hall back in 1900. And her name was Sheila Atwood. I guess it still is. Nice lady. I had that thing up here, you know, just doesn't get in my way. I've eaten there. It's a hell of a place, man. You ought to try it too. Arlo never sang any of my songs. Fuck it. I've written one as long as that. I'll sing it for you later. A song called Fool's Gold. She glitters like fool's gold in a poor man's hand. Beckons like a water hole just a day's ride away. Promise of a rainbow rising above a summer storm. Whistle of a freight train come and haul my days away. And I never cared to be part of a crowd. Never thought I'd be chasing you out loud. And she's greener than Arkansas and lonely at the Trail of Tears. Wants to see the things I saw to stand behind my eyes. Brought me an apple pie and a bottle of Arkansas wine. The tears rolling down her cheeks won't wash away another goodbye. And I've got the memories, I had the time. She was a melody and I supplied the rhyme. And she glitters like fool's gold in a poor man's hand. And beckons like a water hole just a day's ride away. Promise of a rainbow rising above the summer storm. Whistle of a freight train come and haul my days away. And I never cared to be part of a crowd. I never thought I'd be chasing you out loud. Thank you. You bet. Be a pleasure. Joy, could I have a small glass of elixir, if there's any elixir in my prescription bottle? Yes, you may. Ah. There is a God, and she's an old, fat, black woman who loves me. Oh, she's a great cook, and she'll feed you well. If you mess around, she'll whip your ass, too, you know. Blind luck. Down yonder in the heart of Texas, there's a little lady without a doubt. She's always willing to please and play no matter which way the game comes out. And she possesses a magical movement, but the best is yet to come. Just a look in her eyes will make a dead man rise and a talkative fellow go down. She's a magic princess, make you lose your senses, make you stutter like a frightened child. Magic princess make you lose your senses. Go down to Texas just to see her smile. Now I sit and marvel at her magical powers, and she wishes away all of my blues. She can make me feel like a man holding kings, and I ain't got nothing to lose. You lay your head upon her shoulder, only way to see what I mean. She tell you that's your nice cook of beans and rice, and she's taking care of business between time. She's a magic princess, make you lose your senses, make you stutter like a frightened child. A magic princess, make you lose your senses, go down to Texas just to see her smile. Call her faith healer, call her miracle worker. I tell you what the lady done. She can take a man all wrinkled and worried. She'll kiss it till the wrinkles are gone. And then for no particular reason, she'll laugh in your face and walk away. She don't belong to you, that don't mean you're through. No, not until you go away. From a magic punches make you lose your senses, make you stutter like a frightened child. Magic punches make you lose your senses, go down to. She said, Stephen, you gotta roll with the punches, gotta roll with the punches, gotta roll with the punches, gotta roll away. Gotta roll with the punches, gotta roll with the punches. It'll see you through a rainy day. You gotta roll with the punches, gotta roll with the punches, gotta roll with the punches, gotta roll away. Gotta roll with the punches, gotta roll with the punches. It'll see you through a rainy day. She's in magic punches, make you lose your senses, make you stutter like a frightened child. A magic punches make you lose your senses. Go to Texas just to see her smile. Go down to Texas, you can see her. Go on down to Texas just to see her smile. Taco. Oh, the song. Oh, this old world will never change the way it's been. And all the ways of war won't change it back again. And I'm searching for the dolphin in the sea. Sometimes I wonder, does she ever think of me? I'm not the kind of man to try and tell this old world how to get along. I only know that peace will come when all the hate is gone. And I'm searching for the dolphin in the sea. Sometimes I wonder, does she ever think about me? Oh, sometimes I think about Saturday's child, Saturday's child. And all the times that we were out and running while. And I'm searching for the dolphin in the sea, deep in the sea. Sometimes I wonder, does she ever think about me? Does she ever think about me? This old world may never change. This old world may never change. Thank you. Fred Neal's song. Fred Neal's a Florida kind of folk singer. He also wrote, everybody's talking at me, can't hear a word they're saying. I love guitars. Yes, friends, it's Steve Fromholz, foul note guitar recording system, friends. What string is wrong? What? Sonia Haney's tutu. They heard about the trio. Or is this a bad note, friends? Let's vote. Oh, got it. God almighty thing. I bought this goddamn guitar is in tune, you know. It's ridiculous. Not anymore, though. I fixed that. I guess when you buying a car when your cigarette light the ashtray is filthy. Buy a new guitar when you're out of tune. Well, it takes me too long to get them in tune to sell them or something. Next, sir. Almost, I know what I was going to sing. Still out of tune. And they said I didn't have a future in music. That's it. That's it, thanks. A perfect C-sharp partial demolished. Y'all know who Larry Gatlin is, don't you? The little short fellow sings real high, sells chicken and Dr. Pepper on TV. You've all seen him out there. Larry. He's in the clinic. He's out now. He's cured. Had a pal of mine that he didn't do drugs, but what he'd do, he'd go out and he'd get a bunch of talcum powder and stick it up his nose, and then take a fingernail file and just file the inside of his nose and just throw a bunch of money out the window, you know? Just like snorting cocaine. Never got arrested once, you know? He did too. He tried to carry the fingernail file on an airplane one time, and they got him for that. Life is weirder than fiction, which is why I'd rather be alive. Friend, I turned 41 in June, and a pal of mine when I turned 40 said, "You're being smart ass." I said, "Well, Fromholz, how's it feel to turn 40 years old?" I said, "A lot better than not turning 40 years old. Look at your options. You can lay like this for a long, long time, you know." His last words were, "Oh!" Here's a song I had a request for. This isn't my guitar. I have about 7. The airlines fucked one of them up. You talking to me or him? If you're talking to me, you're out of here, you know? I think Howard the Duck looks like a pussy, friends. I can handle my own. You know how to kiss a duck's butt and not get feathers in your mouth? That's a mom and him too, is what that is. This song, one of my guitarists wrote. We didn't really write the song. Guitarists can't write songs that got no arms. Nice head, slim neck, round shoulders, a great butt, and a fine hole, but they ain't got no arms. You guys are a piece of cake. Can y'all travel? Whoop. Shit. Take you folks on the road. That's why Leatherwood brings me down here, to find the level. Perhaps someone will, I'll leave that alone. Don't be crass, rude, and unrefined. Well, profanity is the intellectual crutch of the illiterate motherfucker, you know. So this song was written by this old Martin guitarist that write this down, fool, back in 1972 or 3. And it's a letter from a guitar to a little girl named Darcy Jane Fromholz, who at that time was living in Fairbanks, Alaska, with her mama, Nanook. Her name really wasn't Nanook, but that's what I referred to her as when they went to Alaska. That goddamn Nanook sometimes was here. But that's very, very good. It's a letter from a guitar to a little girl who lives in. I'm gonna sing a song, and I'm gonna get the fuck out of here, man. Bring the monitors up just a tad if there's anybody around the monitors. If not, leave the fuck alone. Dear Darcy, here's a letter from a guitar. He told me I should sing his song for you. I should say it is from him. He'd like to tell you where he's been. But Daddy says it better when he sings. Dear Darcy, how's your mama? Are you happy? Can a guitar make a living where you are? Your daddy's band and me, why, we're just playing to be free. But I still miss you, listening to my strings. Dear Darcy, can you see the wind blow by? Covered up with snow, like you're looking in a diamond's eye. Dear Darcy, can you see the northern lights? Dear Darcy, is it really mostly night? Are you all right? There's a letter on a table from a guitar to a little girl who's gone 4,000 miles. When she opens it, she'll see there's a postscript just from me, with all the love a letter's line can bring. It'll say, Dear Darcy, do you miss me like I miss you? Are you old enough to know the way I feel? Am I man enough to see how much of you there is in me? And do you still believe your daddy's real? Do you still believe your daddy's real? Thank you. Thank you. You have impeccable taste. I was referring earlier to Larry Gatlin, and I got sidetracked to saying something different. But I had something to tell you about Larry, and I forgot what the hell it was. Oh, there it is. He and I met first at a place in Dallas called Faces, over on Throckmorton, Cedar Springs in Oaklawn, Texas, which is kind of like old downtown, a little on the west side. And Faces was the only place I ever saw a bartender pull a shotgun out really from behind the bar like in the movies. And he didn't use it, but he could have, and should have probably. And the stage was 10 feet up in the air, and all the smoke in the room gathered there on the stage. You could smoke a pack of Camels there just standing around. And the hookers out front made more money than we did and had better working conditions than we did. But Larry and I got to be pretty good friends. We still play golf tournaments together for the popular diseases. And well, that's just the way it is, you know. And we were at a picking session one night at the Stoneleigh Terrace Hotel in Dallas, and I see he sings two of my songs beautifully. And I said, "There's one song that you ought to sing on your next album and make me multi-thousandaire, you know." He said, "Well, Fromholz, I would, but I didn't write it." It didn't piss me off at all. Screwed up my guitar, I was so pissed off. So I wrote Larry a song, and some other folks in the business who have sung my songs and some who haven't. It's a thing called Sour Grapes. And it goes exactly like this, no matter how it goes. This is science fiction bluegrass music. No, science fiction gospel bluegrass, I'm sorry. No cow jazz in this song at all. If I hear old Larry Gatlin sing just one more song about love, believe I'll fall, this is the gospel part, believe I'll fall down on my knees and pray for power from above to strike that boy with lightning from the brisket to the bone. Leave the Gatlin brothers tenors, make Larry a baritone. Sour grapes, we can take it all out in the mix, we'll save the taste. If it's bitching and moaning and crying's what it takes, it's a bitter wine you make with sour grapes. If I hear the Statler brothers sing that same damn song again and reminisce about that and this and who and where and when, think I'll steal myself an Oldsmobile 56 or 57. The tire tracks and the two-tone suits, let them harmonize up in the heavens. Sour grapes, we can take it all out in the mix, we'll save the taste. If it's bitching and moaning and crying's what it takes, it's a bitter wine you make with sour grapes. If just one more fan there in the old saloon hollers, "Fromholz, do some Jimmy Buffett," think I'll buy that fan a long neck beer. I'll tell them where they can stuff it and hire myself some mercenary musicians, because Buffett's got my goat. Send them dangerous musicians to the Florida Keys. They can sink his damned old boat. Sour grapes, we can take it all out in the mix, we'll save the taste. If it's bitching and moaning and crying, what it takes, it's a bitter wine you make with sour grapes. Neighbors, we've damn near been overrun, you know, with rabbits and ravens and bears. Why, everyone's an outlaw now that no one really cares. But Willie's still wailing and Waylon's still willing. There's Conway and Loretta. And I picked up a couple of platinum records a year or so ago. My career's doing a hell of a lot better. Sour grapes, we can take it all out in the mix, we'll save the tapes. If it's bitching and moaning and crying's what it takes. It's a bitter wine you make, a bitter wine you make, a bitter wine you make with sour grapes. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Now I got the level of the room. This is I mentioned that last song, and I picked up a couple of platinum records, and I did. I wrote a song in 1970. I was only 4 years old, and wrote a song called "I'd Have to Be Crazy Plumb Out of My Mind to Fall Out of Love with You." And my pal Willie Nelson cut it for me, and on an album called "The Sound in Your Mind" back in the late 70s. And then he put it on Willie Nelson's Greatest Hits and Songs That Will Be, and it's on both those records. And they both went platinum, and I got these two big platinum records. And those platinum records and $50 will get me a cup of coffee and most any Denny's in the entire United States. But this song kind of got me where I am today. Thank you, Willie. Thank you, Jesus. First things first. Dance if you got 'em. I'd have to be crazy to stop all my singing and never play music again. You'd call me a fool if I grabbed up a top hat and I ran out the flag down the wind. I'd have to be weird to grow me a beard just to see what the rednecks would do. But I'd have to be crazy, plumb out of my mind, to fall out of love with you. And I know I done weird things. I told people I heard things when silence was all that abounds. Been days when it pleased me to be on my knees following the ants as they crawled across the ground. I've been insane on a train, but I'm still me again, and the place where I hold you is true. So I know I'm all right, 'cause I'd have to be crazy to fall out of love with you. You know I don't intend to, but should there come a day when I say I don't love you, you can lock me away. I sure would be dingy to live in an envelope just waiting along for a stamp. You'd swear I was loco to rub for a genie while I was burning my hand on the lamp. I may not be normal, but there ain't nobody is. And I'd like to say, before I'm through, I'd have to be crazy, plumb out of my mind, to fall out of love with you. I'd have to be crazy, plumb out of my mind, to fall out of love with you. Thank you. You're good. You're doing your part real well. I just finished in April and May. I put together I produced my own record for the very first time, and I love it. I put together 10 tunes, and I'm out hawking it right now to some company with a bunch of money or something, or somebody just put the damn thing out. I'm not really sure what I want yet, except fame, fortune. I'm famous now, but rich? No rich. The song's on that tape. The last song's on that. I'd have to be crazy, so I cut that again. It's on the tape. It sounds a bit different. I got a bagpipe band and some zithers. It sounds really wonderful. You'll love it, I'm sure. Listen to the song. This is a South Austin love song. I love the ladies, I guess everyone knows, from the tops of their heads down to the tips of their toes. Always been lucky, that's the way my life goes. I'm just a ladies' man, do you need one of those? Call me a rounder, bounder, cat, and a clown. South Austin, bon man, about town. Call me for supper, let me show you around. You know that I'm just a ladies' man and I won't let you down. Ladies' man, he got that light in his eyes and he's wearing a mischievous grin. Ladies' man, he takes delight in surprising you. Don't know where he's going, he won't say where he's been. Where he's been. Well, I heard through the grapevine you've been singing the blues. Hard-hearted lover made a fool out of you. Well, I have a treatment, dear, it's tried and it's true. You know that I'm just a ladies' man and I know what to do. And the ladies' man, he got a rocket in his pocket and he's always got the money to spend. Ladies' man, he keeps his heart in a locket and all he really wants to do is to be your friend, your very close friend. Lord, how the ladies make me weak in the knees, how they can move me with a hug and they squeeze. No need to tell me about the birds and the bees. You know, I'm just a ladies' man and I'm down on my knees. I'm just a ladies' man, do you need one of these? You know that I'm just a ladies' man and I'm aiming to please. Thank you. Thank you. I like that song. This is a capo right here. Capo is an Italian device invented during the Spanish Inquisition for some reason. I'm not sure why. But I know why it was invented. I'm not sure why the Italians did it. It's the Spanish Inquisition, after all, you know. And it was invented to punish heretic 12-string guitar players. It was true. As far as I know, it's true. But The guitar player was given a 12-string guitar with brand new strings on it, and the strings in those days were made out of dead cat entrails. And he gave the guitar player a 12-string guitar and a capo. It was kind of, in those days, it was a heretic finger and two rubber bands, you know, and this. For what? Shit. Critics everywhere, you know. But the guitar player, they put him in a stone wall room, and the walls were alternately heated and cooled. And he had to try to tune the guitar all this entire time while the capo was on the guitar. There's a 12-string player in the audience this evening. He's crying. He's not laughing. He's sobbing in the back. So my uncle had died that away. But the capo, actually, what it does is you put it on the guitar like this with a finger and some rubber bands, and it shortens the strings and raises the pitch, allowing one to play in strange chords with familiar hand formations. Hence the name capo. Oh, there's a test at 11:30 if you're writing all this shit down. We got a little quiz coming up. Da capo, that's what I use is da capo. Well, like I had an uncle that worked for the immigration department. He never let a day go by. They're booing early tonight. I like that. Spirit, by God. I'm a quarter Polish, so I can make fun of everybody. I love that there's a Polish ship lost in the Great Lakes right now. They were 3 days late to the celebration of the 4th of July, and now they're lost in the Great Lakes somewhere, you know. Hey, the motor don't fucking work, man. I don't know what's going on. The biggest joke in Poland right now. How many Americans it takes to screw in a light bulb? One. The biggest joke in Nashville when I was in Nashville in June was how many record producers did it take to screw in a light bulb? That's it. I don't know. What do you think? I love that joke. There's more critics in the back. Didn't you put his LSD in his glass when he came in? I'll fix it. I'll close my first spasm here this evening with a tune I wrote in 1967. I was not even born then, and it's hard to write. Getting the pencil in was really a trick. I said, "Don't worry, Mother, it could have been an Olivetti." This song wrote itself in about an hour and a half. I was living in San Francisco, and I was in the Navy 5 days a week and played music 4 nights a week, and I was crazy. But I enjoyed it. It was the right time to be crazy in 1966 and 67 in San Francisco, California. Golly! Whoa! What a song called the Texas Trilogy about the part of Texas that... Thank you and good night. Do you work at a 7-Eleven store here in town? This song's history. This song's about the land of my mother's birth and the part of the Texas that I lived in as a child, mostly. When things got weird at home, I went to Granny's house in Copperville, Texas, small town about the size of this city block, small town, down south of Cleburne, between Cleburne and Waco, up on the Brazos River. And this song is a long song. If you need to go pee, go ahead and take a leak right now. So if you don't like long songs, it's as long as Alice's Restaurant. This is for the guy who requested Alice's Restaurant. You know, this is a nice long tune. This song's about the 1949, 1950, 51, 52. In small town anywhere, I guess. 6 o'clock silence of a new day beginning is heard in a small Texas town. Like a signal from nowhere, the people who live there are up and they're moving around. There's bacon to fry and biscuits to bake on a stove the Salvation Army won't take. You open the window, you turn on the fan. It's hotter than hell when the sun hits the land. Walter and Fanny Day, they own the grocery store. They sell most all that you need. They've been up and working since early this morning. They've got the whole village to feed. They put out fresh eggs and throw bad eggs away that rotted because of the heat yesterday. And the store is all dark, so you can't see the flies that settle on round steak and last Monday's pies. The Sleepy Hills drugstore and the cafe, they're both open today, and the coffee inside is bubbling hot. And the folks who ain't working, they'll sit there till sundown and talk about what it is they ain't got. Somebody just blew a clutch in the old pickup truck. Seems like they're riding on a streak of bad luck. The doctor bill came, well has gone dry. Seems their grown kids don't care whether they live or die. I can recall in Copperl, Texas, Kopperl, Texas. It was a nice place for a man to live and raise a family. Been a long time ago, though, back before the cotton gin closed down. Some folks around town, they recall the day Steve Hughes, he lost his arm in that damned old gin. Walked all the way home bleeding to death. Back in the early 1950s, it was the Army Corps of Engineers. They come down and dammed up the Brazos River one more time. Built Lake Whitney, they did. And the highway folks, they finally improved the road through Copperl down to the lake. Fishermen came from Dallas and Fort Worth and up from Waco and across from Hillsboro and Blum. There's a Blum girl here tonight. Sure has been a quiet town, though, ever since the Santa Fe Railroad, they closed the depot down. They built a brand new trestle out west of town, but the train, it don't stop in Copperl no more. The train don't stop in Copperl no more. The last time I remember that train stopping at the depot was when me and my Aunt Vita come a-riding back from Waco. I remember I was wearing my long pants. We was sharing conversation with a man. Said he sold ballpoint pens and paper. And the train stopped once in Clifton where my aunt bought me some ice cream. And my mom was there to meet us when the train pulled into Copperl. But now kids at night, they break wind, the lights and the sound. The trains only remains in the memory of the ones like me, who have turned their backs on the splintered cracks in the walls that stand on the railroad land where we used to play and then run away from the depot man. Run away, Jimmy, as fast as you can. And the train, it just don't stop here anymore. I remember me and brother used to run down to the depot just to listen to the whistle when the train pulled into Copperl. And the engine big and shiny, black as the coal that fed the fire. And the engineer, he'd smile and say, howdy, how you fellers? And the folks there by the windows playing cards and reading newspapers papers looked as far away to me as next summer school vacation. But now kids at night, they break when the lights and the sound of trains only remains in the memory of the ones like me, who have turned their backs on the splintered cracks in the walls that stand on the railroad land, where we used to play and then run away, where we used to play and then run away, where we used to play and then run away from the depot man. Run away, Jimmy, as fast as you can. Wonder why it is you don't see too many young folks around Copperville, Texas these days. Seems like as soon as the last part of May rolls around and the seniors who do graduate from Copperville High School, they run off to Cleburne or Fort Worth or Dallas or Waco and get them a good job, you know. Then some of those folks don't ever leave Bosque County, Texas at all, except for groceries. They live there, and they die there, and when they do die, it might be the finest day of their life. Somebody might pay some attention to them. Right away, they get the first hearse ride they ever had. The hearse hauls a body from Copperville, Texas, down to Meridian, Texas, the county seat where the funeral home is. The funeral home owners come by and they cry, cry, cry. The next day, the hearse hauls the body back up to Copperville, Texas again. Laid out in state at the Methodist Church or the Baptist Church or the Church of Christ, any one of the big three there in Copperville, Texas. Reverend brother something or other comes by and says the godlike words, and it comes a time they've all been waiting for. It's time to view the body. At the last family funeral I went to, I was the pallbearer. My cousin Tommy went ahead and died. Spent the whole day with the body. Quiet day. Till it came to the viewing. And then folks had all kinds of incredulous things to say. They form a long histrionic line, file by the open casket, saying things like, my, don't he look natural? Or, looks like he's asleep, don't he? There was always a little blue-haired old lady who said something like, didn't the funeral home do a fine job? They always looked just deader than hell to me. Mary Martin was a schoolgirl, just 17 or so, when she married Billy Archer so very many years ago. Not even out of high school, folks said it would not last. But when you grow up in the country, you grow up mighty fast. They married in a hurry in March before school was out. Folks said, why hell, she's pregnant, you just wait and you'll find out. It came about that winter, one gray November morn. Well, the first of many more to come, a baby boy was born. And cattle is their game, and Archer is the name they give to the acres that they own. If the brazos don't run dry and the newborn calves, they don't die, another year from Mary will have flown. Another year from Mary will have flown. Now Billy, he kept what cattle his daddy could afford. I seen him bouncing across the cactus in a 1950 Ford. But the cows was sick and skinny and the weeds was all that grew. Billy kept the place alive, was the only thing he knew to do. And Mary cooked the supper, and Mary scrubbed the clothes, and Mary busted horses, and she blew the baby's nose. And Mary, with a shotgun, kept the rattlesnakes away. Oh, but how she kept on smiling, what nobody could ever say. And cattle is their game, and Archer is the name they give to the acres that they own. If the brazos don't run dry and the newborn calves, they don't die. Another year from Mary will have flown. You know, another year from Mary will have flown. The drought ended there in 1957, but it had been a curse upon the land. Nobody in Bosque County, Texas could give old Bill a helping hand. And the ground was cracked and broken, and the truck was out of gas. And the cows can't feed on prickly pear instead of growing grass. And the weather got the water, and a snake bite took a child. And a fire in the old barn took the hay that Bill had piled. And the mortgage got the money, the screw arm got the cows. And the years have come to Mary, she's a-waiting for them now. And cattle is their game, and Archer is the name they give to the acres that they own. If the brasses don't run dry and the newborn calves, they don't die, another year from Mary will have flown. You know, another year from Mary will have flown. My, how they fly on by. 6 o'clock silence of a new day beginning is heard in a small Texas town. Like a signal from nowhere, the people who live there are up and they're moving around. There's bacon to fry and there's biscuits to bake on a stove the Salvation Army won't take. You open the window, you turn on the fan. It's hotter than hell when the sun hits the land. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to take a short break and come back and sing some more songs for you. I want to share a funny story. It's kind of funny to me anyway, before I go. Put old Taco down. Oh, the acid's coming on. He's going to be fine. One time I ever came close to breaking. Entertainers have entertainer brain fade where verses go away, you know, and when you can't play the song you want to play, it's like you didn't wash your hands and somebody else's. And I was singing that song, Texas Trilogy, in a place in Fort Worth called The Hop, the House of Pizza. And great gig. But I had a really good audience, it seats about this size, about 90, 100 folks. And I was singing that song, and I got the part where it says, and Mary busted horses and Mary busted horses and blew the baby's nose. And what crossed to my mind as I sang it was, and Mary blew the horses and busted the baby's nose. I didn't sing it like that, but it's hard to keep the rest of the song going after I had that thought going through my head. Be the most popular ranch in the entire area, you know. Hell don't go way back in the flag.